The pregnancy test slipped from Lily's trembling fingers and landed softly on the bathroom counter. 2 pink lines. She stared at them, as if they might disappear if she blinked too hard. For a moment, the entire world seemed to pause. Lily Carter slowly pressed a hand against her stomach, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and disbelief. 6 years of marriage. 6 years of hoping, waiting, wondering if this moment would ever come. And now it had. "I'm pregnant," she whispered into the empty bathroom. Tears filled her eyes, not of sadness, but overwhelming joy. Ethan is going to be so happy. At least, that's what she believed. Ethan Carter had always talked about wanting a family. Late at night, while watching movies or lying half asleep beside her, he would imagine teaching their future child how to ride a bike, or helping with school projects. Those small conversations had quietly built a dream inside Lily's heart. And now, that dream was real. She carefully placed the test back into its box, her mind already racing with ideas. Maybe she would cook his favorite dinner. Maybe she would wrap the test as a gift. Maybe she would even record his reaction, so one day they could watch it together with their child. Smiling to herself, Lily stepped out of the bathroom and walked softly down the hallway toward the living room. But just before she turned the corner, she heard Ethan's voice. He was on the phone. Normally, she wouldn't think twice about it. Ethan often took work calls at home, but something about his tone made her stop. It was low, serious, almost tense. She paused near the bedroom door, not meaning to listen, but then she heard the words. That changed everything. "I can't tell her yet." 5 words, 5 simple words. That froze Lily in place. Her heart began to pound. Tell her what? A cold chill crept through her chest as she stood there silently. Ethan continued, his voice barely above a whisper. "I know." But she wouldn't understand. Lily's stomach tightened. Her thoughts started racing. Maybe it was a surprise. Maybe something related to work. But something about his voice didn't feel like a surprise. Felt like a secret. "She's already been through so much," Ethan said softly. "I don't want to hurt her." Hurt her? Lily's grip tightened around the box in her hand. For a moment, she felt like she was standing outside her own life, watching it unfold from a distance. "Just give me time," Ethan added quietly. "I'll figure it out." Then the call ended. Lily quickly stepped away from the door, her heart racing, pretending she had just come from the kitchen. When Ethan walked into the hallway, he smiled. Hey, she replied, forcing a small smile. For the next few minutes, everything felt normal. Too normal. He asked about her day. She answered automatically, but her mind was somewhere else. What couldn't he tell her? That night at dinner, she almost told him. The words were right there, on the tip of her tongue. But those 5 words echoed in her mind. I can't tell her yet, so she stayed silent. Over the next few days, Lily began noticing things she had never paid attention to before. Ethan stayed up later than usual. He checked his phone more often. Sometimes he seemed distant, distracted. Maybe those things had always been there. Or maybe she was only seeing them now. But with each passing day, the uncertainty grew heavier. 6 weeks into her pregnancy, Lily found herself standing outside Ethan's office one evening. The door was slightly open. Inside, he sat at his desk, surrounded by papers and folders. She knocked gently. He looked up, startled. Hey, everything okay? I was just wondering if you wanted some tea, she said softly. He smiled. Yeah, that would be nice. As she placed the cup on his desk, her eyes drifted to the papers scattered around. Then one document caught her attention. A hospital letter. Her heart skipped. Ethan, what is this? He looked down and froze. Silence filled the room. Then he leaned back slowly and sighed. I was hoping you wouldn't see that yet. Yet, Lily repeated, her voice trembling. Is this what you meant when you said you couldn't tell me? Ethan's eyes widened. You heard that. She nodded. Behind the door, another long silence. Then Ethan rubbed his hands together nervously. I didn't want you to worry. Worry about what? He looked at her, guilt and concern in his eyes. My doctor called 2 weeks ago. Lily's chest tightened. They found something in my heart scan. The words fell heavy between them. It might be nothing, he added quickly, but it could require surgery. Lily felt the air leave her lungs. You're sick. I didn't want to scare you until I knew more. She stood there, her emotions tangled. Fear, confusion, and something unexpected, relief. All this time, she had imagined something far worse. You thought I was hiding something else, Ethan said gently. She didn't answer. She didn't have to. Ethan stepped closer. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I just didn't want you carrying that burden. Lily looked down at the box still in her hands, and suddenly, she realized something. There would never be a perfect moment. Life doesn't wait for perfect timing. Slowly, she held the box out toward him. Ethan frowned. What's this? Open it. He lifted the lid and froze. The pregnancy test lay inside. For a moment, he couldn't speak. Then his eyes widened. Lily, are you? She nodded softly. 6 weeks. The same amount of time she had been carrying her secret. Ethan's face filled with emotion. Joy, shock, hope. He pulled her into a tight embrace. Everything is going to be okay, he whispered. And in that moment, Lily understood something. Life rarely unfolds the way we imagine. Sometimes, fear hides behind silence. Sometimes, love hides behind worry. But when two people face uncertainty together, instead of alone, even the hardest moments can become the beginning of something stronger. Because the most powerful families aren't built in perfect moments. They're built when love chooses courage over fear. Red Heart.